So it sounds like you've been writing and creating your own short films for many, many years. How did you get into making showreels from scratch for actors?
I got into making showreels from scratch because I'm always making short films and making them quite quickly. Otherwise I get bored of a project. So showreels came about because in the time it might take another filmmaker, 6 months to a year to perfect their short film, perfectionism isn't my style. My style is just, I'm going to be creative, I'm going to do the best I can, and then the next one will be better. So I keep creating. So that just led to a lot of my actor friends asking me to help them out with making showreel scenes. This was like 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago, just to help them build material. And then they were recommending me to their friends. And I wasn't even making any money at this point. I was just helping people make scenes. And I was like, this is exhausting, this is hard work, could you give me 50 quid or something? And then it just built from there and I kept doing it. So now it's the style in which I make short films have transferred into showreels. So I will arrange a location quickly, sort the actors, and get the job done quickly so that an actor can, a few weeks from now, have showreel material they can put out into the world.
In your experience of doing scenes from scratch, what in your view makes a good scene for the purposes of a showreel?
Well, obviously there's some technical things that sound really obvious, but you want you to be in a close-up, well lit, and we want to be able to hear you. That sounds completely obvious, but so often when I've done just editing material for actors, some of those basic needs, they're not always met from the sort of various projects they've done. So that's a sort of key thing on a technical level. But in terms of the content, I think that a simple conflict between characters, and it could be, one character wants to break up, the other one doesn't want to. One character wants a job, the other one doesn't want to give it to them. One character wants to tell their dad they think he's drinking too much, the dad doesn't want to agree to it. Those simple everyday conflicts, or not even everyday, it could be any kind of conflict, but a simple, one character needs something, the other character doesn't want them to have it. It shows an actor doing their thing. It shows that an actor carrying conflict, dealing with conflict.
Sometimes actors think it might be a good idea to recreate a scene from an existing movie, perhaps a classic movie or a television program or even a play, and include that on a showreel as opposed to a scene that might be written from scratch.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's very risky, and I think a lot it can cause a lot of problems. I was watching a showreel recently, and the first couple of lines, something about it didn't click for me. I was watching it, I thought, this doesn't feel right, it feels off. And suddenly I was like, oh, I recognise that dialogue, it's from The Good Wife, from the TV show The Good Wife. And what this actress had done was, there was a scene from The Good Wife, which was two lawyers talking, and these lawyers were, in their 40s in the TV show. But this was a 21-year-old actress trying to recreate this scene. So she looked too young for the role. It looked like a very sort of low-budget version of a big TV show. And the performance was like an impersonation of what a character was doing on TV. And it instantly rubs you the wrong way, and it's awkward to watch. So I think, first of all, if there's any chance that it's going to be recognised, it's going to work against you. And even if it's not recognised, I mean, I never do it. I always write unique scenes, and I don't use stuff from TV or film. I don't think it works. But even, let's say you get a scene that you love from a film that came out in the 70s and no one knows it. The tricky thing, and I always try and think of what it is that's tricky, it's that the reason the scene works in the film is because it has all this context that you've been watching a film, they've built up the character, when you're watching a movie, you know why that scene's happening and what it means. So when you then just recreate just that scene in a showreel, it doesn't mean anything, and something about it feels wrong because there's all these bits of exposition and or a lack of exposition. There's all these bits of context that don't make any sense to you as a viewer, and it's just confusing.
There are a lot of people in the market making showreels for actors, including some from scratch. How would you see yourself as differentiated from them?
Yeah, my main thing has always been that I write all the scenes. I don't shoot anything that's written by anyone else or that's taken from other places. And that isn't arrogance or anything, it's that I know how to direct my own writing, and I know how to help an actor perform what I've written. So that for me has always been my unique thing, is that if you want to use other material, that's great, you know, go to one of those other guys. I'm not trying to compete with a Hollywood movie. I'm not trying to make my material look like you was in a big budget movie. What I'm trying to do is make material that, yeah, it could be from an independent film or a short film, or it could be from a soap even, you know, it could be from a TV show, but I'm not trying to make it bigger than it is. I'm trying to show you, be as natural. Even like my directing style is less about where the camera is, it's less about the technology, it's more about, you know, your character could be angry when they say this, but actually maybe he's just doesn't know how he feels yet, and maybe, you know, this is what my direction is like. Maybe we just need to like focus on this character differently, or, you know, perhaps this character's feeling it. I'm always focused on those tiny little bits of behavior. That's what I love in TV and film, and it's what I enjoy in my own work. So that is my specific thing, is I'm focused on the behavior of characters, and I really enjoyed finding that with the other actor. So that's kind of my unique thing.
Once an actor has a show reel from scratch or otherwise, what is it realistic for he or she to expect it to deliver?
First of all, I think it delivers a confidence boost. You know, it's such a big thing for an actor to be able to put a reel onto their spotlight or their Mandy that they're proud of, that they're not embarrassed by their own acting or by their you know, the bad sound quality or something. So when you have a good reel, that confidence boost immediately makes you feel better about what you're doing. Secondly, it just opens the door to castings. It opens the door to short films even, because you're getting a sense of who this person is, how they sound, how they handle conflict, you know, what they can do on screen. And then lastly, like, it opens the door, you know, people always want that first opportunity to get a TV credit, to get a film credit. That's not easy, and a showreel isn't necessarily going to mean that suddenly, you know, big directors are knocking on your door, but it makes it more likely you're going to make those first steps, those couple of lines on Casualty, a line on a Netflix show, because it shows that you can do the job.